Hello, Tack Merryface here. Welcome to Merryface Gaming. Today, we are going to plan a flight, which I will not be able to do today for several reasons. Most of one being that it's going to be a really long flight, and I just don't have the time for it today. I will probably do it tomorrow. However, I thought it'd be a good opportunity to show you how to plan an IFR flight using a couple of really useful tools. Sorry, that's my other half talking to me. So, we have the Navigraph charts. Obviously, you need a Navigraph subscription for this. Highly recommended. I need to renew mine in less than 3 days, because if you renew it before it runs out, you get a discount. So, in any case, let's go to Navigraph. Okay, and you can log in, but let's not log in for now. You can download the data cycles, and you can get the charts. You can pay for the cycles, and you can pay for the charts, or you can pay for both. And here you got the few subscriptions available to you here. Yeah, definitely worth it. Yeah, so I went for this, the Ultimate, which is €90 a year. You get a discount once you renew it without actually changing it. Very useful. It does two things. One, it updates the AirAC in your simulator, and you can even do it in individual aircraft's navigation data. And you get the Navigraph charts, which are now Jeppesen, which is great. They used to use Lido charts, which are not bad, but I'm a huge fan of Jeppesen. They're much more widely used, so that's good. The other thing we're going to use today is SimBrief. Okay, so here is SimBrief. It's essentially a virtual dispatcher. Okay, so we're going to use that to dispatch a flight. Now, I'm going to open Flight Sim Economy. Here we are. And let's look at the flight I have planned. I'm taking from Churchill to Nunavut. Sorry, for people who actually know this, I'm sorry if I'm insulting you in some way. And as you can see, it's a pretty long flight. It's going to take, maybe it's going to be 3 hours airborne, depending on the weather. I've anticipated, apologies, and I added 100% fuel, but as you can see, I'm overweight. So, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to defuel. So, I'm going to defuel. We'll do it 10 gallons at a time, I think. So let's start with 375 US gallons. Okay, still not there. So let's defuel to 370. So we're going to do fives now. Okay, because we're losing money when we do this. Okay, we are losing money because we've refueled, and boom, there you go. And we've got 11 kilograms left. So we're pretty darn full at this point, yeah? We've got maximum fuel that we can possibly carry. We could probably try to 372. Let's try that. A bit of a waste of money, but just for the purposes of this, it's fine. Okay, we're still good. We've got 5 kilograms left, so we could probably add another gallon, so 373. We're really filling it up to maximum takeoff weight. Okay, so we've got 3 kilograms left, and we'll leave it at that. So there you go. We've got a full load, and we're going to do a long flight. Now I've made in my other channel Skyvector tutorial, and we're going to use Skyvector but slightly differently today. So we're going to go to dispatch. We're going to create a new flight. Well, I've been using the Cessna Mustang for this flight, and it's my fictional airline, Merryface Airways, and this is going to be flight number 3. I know that's not how flight numbers work, but that's how I decided to use it. And today, as we saw, we're going from CYYQ to wow, did that really bad. It's just CYFB. So we just go ahead, CYFB. Cool. Now it's going to automatically find an alternate. There's a good chance that alternate will not be adequate considering the flight we have. Now here's the next bit I really recommend. Use Skyvector. So you can see there's a Skyvector button here, there's flight aware, blah blah blah. And go here, and you can see this is the route they chose for us. And it's going to be a long trip. In terms of an alternate, it's a little difficult to find one. Yeah. And this is what I wanted to show you. Frobe. Putting Frobe here, YFB, is kind of pointless because it's almost co-located with the airfield. So I would just get rid of it. Let's go ahead and delete it. Okay. And your route is valid, 789 miles long. So this is using AirAC 1701. Let's see if we can update it. Now to update it, we need to unlock it using your Navigraph account. So I'm going to go ahead and log into my Navigraph account. It's unlocked, and boom, there you go. Now I've got the latest AirAC, not 10 AirACs behind, which is another great thing of paying for Navigraph. Yeah. Now we're probably going to start again, so that's not a massive issue. Take 2 seconds. Okay. Now. Okay, so this is our alternate. The airframe I'm going to use, I saved an airframe in this, which you can do by going on My Fleet for the Cessna Mustang. Okay. And the time en route is 3 hours 5, departing runway 33 and arriving runway 16. And this is just the estimated times we'll be taxiing out and in. So we can ignore these for now because I won't be using them. But I can save this profile and use it later on. So we can analyze a route, and the route is valid. Great. And now we're using 1711, which is much better. I'm an SI boy. I love using kilograms. However, Cessna Mustang American aircraft uses pounds. So there you go. So we're going to go through everything. First off, find out where BGTL is. So we're going to go up here, BGTL, and search it. And then we're going to zoom out and see where that is. And you can see that's quite out of the way, yeah? That's BGTL, really, really far out, so it's not the best alternate, really. So, maybe something a little more along the route. So that's the weather station. So, CYIK, let's try that. Where is that? Oh, that is the weather station. It's not an airport. Oh, it is an airport. Okay, so CYIK. Let's find out a little bit more about this airport. So let's go here. Airports. CYIK. Let's find out stuff about it, such as the length of the runway. 3,500 feet. Too short for us. Okay, so we can't use it as an alternate. And that's why it's important to look these things up. Yeah. And I have a feeling the reason they gave us such a far out airport is because all the other airports are too small. So CYZG. Let's try that. CYZG. Okay. Loading the charts. Here it is, another 3,500 foot runway, so it's too short again. And so we're going to continue in this way until we find something that's suitable, because the alternate they suggested just doesn't work. And the problem is, we're probably going to have to work without an alternate. So, yeah, not ideal. We don't have ETOPS. We wouldn't have ETOPS in real life. CYOB. So let's try that, CYOB. Okay, so I found one which is Coral Harbor CYZS. So we're going to use ZAT as an alternate. ZAT. CYZS. And this is going to be essentially an en route alternate. We're not really following actual IFR rules here, but here's what we're going to do. Basically, we're going to use this as an alternate. In terms of fuel planning, the fuel planning is we have to be able to come here, do an approach, go around, and then go back there. Which, of course, we just don't have enough fuel. We're going to be pushing it with this as it is. But it's a good chunk for our leg. So there you go, let's continue. So analyze the route again, that's all fine. I plan on going tomorrow, so I will be using tomorrow's date, which is November 9th, and we'll make the departure around 11 Zulu. That way it gives me time to get up into cruise and then go have some lunch. Let's face it, I'm not going to stay in front of the computer for 2.5 hours doing nothing. Excellent. And we can generate an operational flight plan. Generate. And voila. So once this finishes generating, we're going to have a few things. First off, we've got the route, which is great because you can put it on any sort of app you want to use. For example, you can use FS Captain or whatever it is, or that kind of stuff. And here, immediately, see, flight time exceeds aircraft range, and that is because it includes the flight to the alternate. Okay, so we've got maximum fuel, no extra fuel because we can't. Cruise at 350. I might change this a little bit, and instead what I might do is start at flight level 350. Once we burn a little bit more fuel, climb to the maximum ceiling of flight level 410, a couple thousand feet at a time, and hopefully that'll make the flight more efficient. So we'll see how this goes. So here you've got the paperwork, which just looks like a real airline dispatch paperwork because it's meant to simulate airlines, not flying small private jets. You can see the maximum and estimated takeoff weights and landing weights and zero fuel weights and so forth. And here, this is where we find out when we land. So the trip fuel 253, contingency 0, so we've got no contingency, yeah. And then this is what gets to us, the alternate, yeah. We need 1,844, and we just don't have that. In fact, we have the whole alternate fuel missing. So we're going to be landing on fumes. Really, the safe thing to do would be to land somewhere in between. But I don't roll that way. I like to take risks on Flight Simulator because the only thing we're risking is fake metal. So again, not a realistic thing. If this were me planning a route in real life, I'd like scratch this. We're going to go somewhere like here or somewhere around there. I don't know. Somewhere else that has fuel and take a pit stop. Okay, which would be halfway across. So that would be the safe choice. Okay, and if you're going to go fully realistic, that would be the safe choice. Take a fuel stop. I'm not that realistic. I like to have fun. So here it is. On top of that, if you go down here, you can download a flight plan. All this. See this? Isn't that great? You can download for a bunch of your software. They haven't put FS Labs in yet for if you're flying the Airbus A320. They have put the Aerosoft Airbus. But give it time. They will. Flight Factory A320. See, that's new. FS Commander and so forth. So they've got a lot of flight plans you can possibly use. Yeah, and they can also pre-file it for you on VATSIM and Pilot Edge, which is great as well. Right? So we can also print or preview the PDF. And here it is. You got it here and you can download it. Yeah, and this is what I use in my live flights, and we'll be using this once we regenerate it for tomorrow. Okay? And so you've got the fuel planning, you've got the route, you've got operational impacts. Here you've got the ATIS, RVSM limitations, and then the estimated departure times and actual times. And then here you're going to have this is the really important bit, estimated weights and stuff. So here's it's estimating 5 passengers. Good news is we don't have 5, we have 4. Okay, so that's great. So we just modify that. So when you go back here, when you're going to print this off or use it on your iPad as I do, what you'll do is you'll say, right, PAX is actually 4. They estimate, I think it's £250, £200, I don't know, hold on. Divide that payload by 10, multiply by 2, £120, something like that. Anyways, you can divide this. Yeah, sorry, so £120 per passenger, which is really light, thankfully. But, so you put that as being 4, cargo 0, and then the total payload being what it actually is, and then modifying the 0 fuel weight, and so forth, okay? And then here, this is what you're going to be looking at during the flight. So you've got from Churchill departing, and then up to the top of climb. Now it's saying that at the top of climb, you should have 2.0 or 2,000 pounds of fuel. So then you'll put the actual, and if at any point, let's say after here, where we're below, we turn back and land, yeah? And this is the route to the total route to get there, okay? So that's that. Here you got the wind information, the ICAO flight plan, dispatcher briefings, nothing to say, airmets, no weather data available, blah 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 blah, and then the METARs and TAFs. So there you go. Then here you can have the NOTAMs. Okay, so really, really, really good stuff here, yeah? And crew alerts, so company NOTAMs. And then here you've got random charts. So the entire chart here with the latitude and longitudes is really important. Just a summary of the flight. And same thing here with a little bit of extra information and the significant weather, which is what we care about as well, because you can see here troposphere is quite low, flight level 170, yeah? So it's tropopause, sorry, it's quite low. So we're going to be above the tropopause. If we go below here, another chart, and showing different points of the tropopause. And here we've got the winds, and you can see we're going to be right in the middle of low left, an cyclone, so low pressure system, yeah? We're going to go right through the middle of a pressure system. And you can see that we've got basically crosswinds the whole flight because we go right through it. What else do we have here? More information. And same sort of stuff. Here this is quite cool. Flight levels. It shows you the winds. Yeah. So you climb, top of descent. You've got the different waypoints. Here you've got the tropopause and your actual route, and then the temperatures and the winds. So at this point, the wind's going to be coming from the northwestish, northwest, and so forth. So here you can see we're going to have maybe a little bit of light wind, and that's when we're going through that center of that low pressure system. And that's it. So, great. So we can use this to plan our flight. We now know the route we're going to take and so forth. Let's go back here, and let's copy this route. Because we're now going to go here. Oops, wrong one. Sorry. We're now going to go here and go to flights, and we're going to open a new flight. We'll call it what it is, CYYQ to CYFB, I believe. And then we're going to do the route. We need to put the departure and arrival airports in this, yeah? And we can get rid of the DCT, which means direct. Make sure there's only one space between these. Yeah, no double spacing. Cool. And then we put the departure airports, which is done here, and our alternate, which I forgot what it was, so go back here, and we find out it was, let's go here actually, CYZS. Okay. Oh, just write it in then. ZS. Cool. And save. And the route will appear once we click on it. There you go. So there's the route. That's the route we've been wanting. Again, we could probably delete YFY. So won't take too long to do that. We could edit it. YFB, is that it? YFY. YFB. Yeah, so let's get rid of YFB. Okay, delete and save. And now that's going to disappear. Boom, no more. So it goes direct. There's no point going to the VOR if it's just there. We're not following a route, any airways, but that's not the end of the world. Cool. And that's great. So we can now view all the charts. So we've got the Churchill charts, and we can see, well, we're going to depart runway 33, so let's go ahead and go to references, which we can ignore, but let's start on taxi, because we're definitely going to use the airport information. And let's see if there are any SIDs. No SIDs, so we're going to use the taxi information here, the airport chart, because if there are any specific instructions for the takeoff, it would appear here. So let's zoom in. This is not on how to teach you how to use Jepson charts, by the way. This is just to use Navigraph, and it's got this information. So we would depart runway 33. This caution runway 0725 and runway certified for aircraft having maximum windspan of 36 meters, and VRF approach speed no greater than category B, which is what the Mustang is. Cool. And then VFR information, right hand circuits. And then here we've got runway lighting information, high intensity runway edge lights, I believe it is, SSALR, don't know what that is, and then glide slope and so forth. Okay, and then takeoff minima right here. RVR 26 or half mile. So I think that's 2,600 feet or half mile, I'm not sure. But there you go. I'm not very familiar with the North American charts. So if we were going to use this, then we click that here because that saves it on the side. Excellent. Next, we're going to go to our destination charts. Download them because I haven't downloaded them before. And let's start with the approach, right? Let's see if we have a star. We don't, so we've got approaches. And on the thing it said we'd have runway 16. So let's click on all of runway 16 approaches. Yeah, it's an RNAV approach, which is great. However, there is a problem, which is the Mustang doesn't have a VNAV. Okay, so what we'll have to do is we'll also click the ILS runway 34, and maybe we'll do a circle to land. Yeah, so we've got these three approach charts, and we'll use them as appropriately. I could be wrong. I am learning the Flight 1 Cessna Mustang, so there may be a way you could use VNAV on the approach. But then we'll also click on this, yeah, and we'll definitely keep this in, because that way we've got all the information we need about the airport itself. Great. Now the final thing is, I recommend you download SimLink. Okay, so if you download SimLink and set it up, have it connected to your simulator, it won't be connecting to anything, you will appear on the chart as a purple arrow. Position and orientation, which is great because if you go here, you open this up, you will appear on here wherever you are, which is fantastic. Now, why is it fantastic? I mean, if you've only got a single screen, you're not going to use this. Yeah, but if you have an iPad, you can download the Navigraph chart, and you have all this, including the arrow. And you do that by once you open SimLink, you click this right there. Okay? And could not connect to the simulator because we don't have a simulator running. Okay? So that is how you plan a flight using SimBrief, Skyvector, and Navigraph charts using the desktop version. In this case, it works the exact same way for the iPad. So, highly recommend it, and go plan your own flights. And